Let me ask you, since you were so resistant to watching it, was
Yeah.
it better than you thought it was going to be?
No.
Okay.
It's
Let's talk about the Speak No Evil remake. We saw the trailer to the remake earlier in the year. It gives away a lot of the movie, but I still didn't see the original. I always heard the original was like very good. I just never got around to watching it. So we took that trip to China. I loaded my laptop with a bunch of movies, and that's when I watched on the flight. And yeah, that movie is brutal. And then when we got there, we didn't have anything to watch, so we stayed up one night, and I watched it again with you.
yeah.
And what did you think of the original Speak No Evil?
I like the original a lot, and it had a very tragic ending.
Yeah, I think that's what the movie's most known for, is that ending. And you can tell just by the trailers, they upend and redo the entire ending to this movie. So
Yeah.
I'll talk about that a little bit more later. I won't spoil it, or I'll just go, basics. But yeah.
Okay.
But what do you think overall of it? Like, how many stars would you give like the original movie, you think?
That was a 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's 4 out of 5 for me. It's like the movie's like frustrating for like the stupid character decisions, but I think that was the point of the movie, because after I looked into it more, it's more that director's commentary on the Danish cultural like politeness to the extent where it's detrimental to the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't want to say anything bad to hurt anyone's feelings, even though it's completely seems like unsafe, and these people are pushing their boundaries constantly. So I was interested in seeing the movie. I mean, I wasn't gonna hold it in high regard because I don't know. I don't see that sort of movie playing well with American audiences. It's not really satisfying, but it is just kind of brutal and tragic, just like Penny said. But it looked interesting. I liked the cast. Scoot McNairy as the do nothing dad. You got Mackenzie Davis as the mother, and then you have James McAvoy playing the villain, the guy who invites them to the house, which, I mean, okay, so James McAvoy, he played Professor X in the X-Men movies, and now he's looking like freaking Wolverine.
Oh, he does! Because like when he just appeared in a movie, didn't I say, look at that ass?
Yeah, he's like ridiculously jacked now.
Yeah.
So, but you were kind of resistant to watching.
Yeah, because just from the trailer, it looked like a similar movie, right? It's got the same name. It looks like a similar story. I mean, even though I knew that they were gonna twist it here and there, it just, watching a similar movie a second time, it really isn't appealing to me. Plus, like, after watching the original, I was pretty impressed by how like emotionally like depressing that movie was able to deliver. Sometimes
disturbing, really.
Yeah, it really is. And I think they hammer on that, big hit on your emotion, and it delivers perfectly. Like, you feel like you've got a lot to say, but there's nothing there to say. It's a very abrupt ending, and just period.
Yeah.
Everything ends. And that is a very brilliant ending for that movie. And I feel like there is no way that a different ending gonna be better than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like that whole movie's identity. But I'll go into what I like about the 2024 remake. So I think one of the positives is they kind of expand on the story a little bit. They give like the kids a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
Especially, they make them a little more useful to the plot, and I really like the performances. Not to knock like the Danish movies' performances, but McAvoy as the main antagonist, and I mean, McAvoy's pretty good at everything. I don't know if you've seen him in Split, but that's one where he like plays like kind of like similar. He has different personalities, but yeah. And Mackenzie Davis, I generally enjoy her in most stuff. Yeah, I mean, it hits a lot of the similar beats, especially like the first 2/3 of the movie. It seems like almost identical.
Yeah.
I think they add a little bit here and there. They tweak and change a little bit.
Yeah. I think the story is a little bit smoother.
You think so? Because I kind of thought it dragged a little bit, especially in that last part. Like,
what do you mean, like the ending?
yeah, and I guess we can go into what we probably didn't like about it.
Okay.
I mean, is there anything that you liked about it? Like,
I think
maybe,
the kids' performance were great.
yeah,
That's what I enjoyed.
and they kind of aged them up a little bit. Like
Yeah,
they're a
yeah,
lot
they're-
younger in the movie,
yeah.
and I think they made the daughter like almost neurodivergent because she was so into that doll. Because I mean, they had a similar doll in the original movie,
Yeah.
but she's such a young girl that she has that doll. I get it. She's almost 12 in this one. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you have a doll? But then they kind of make it clear where she's like scratching herself. She don't have this doll. She has that app that has the
Breathing.
yeah, it's like the
help.
doll character breathing, helping her, calm down and everything. But yeah, I don't know about the aging up of them. I mean, it really, okay, so I guess it makes sense a little bit with what she does to distract, to get her mom alone, to show her something.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense plot-wise with that, but I kind of like the kids be a little bit younger because I think the danger of those young kids kind of like makes you a little bit more tense.
Yeah, but then they play less of a part in the movie.
Yeah,
right?
And they're pretty useless. And actually, the girl probably fucks them over in the original movie all the time. But anything else you liked about the movie that more than the original?
No, I mean, other than the cast are different. Like I said, I enjoyed the kids. Or everything else pretty much the same except for how the ending goes.
Yeah, I'll go into what I didn't really like about it. So this movie is about as subtle as a sledgehammer. Okay? So it's like, we're gonna visit this family in London, and they're like more kind of like conservative, I guess. Like they cook their own meat. They're kind of self-sufficient. And then you have like the very liberal family who own a Tesla, which is apparently bulletproof, a bulletproof windshield.
Was that what?
No,
it was?
I mean, I don't know. I never seen a windshield get shot act like that when it's not like.
Yeah, I mean, at
I don't know.
the end, the car is still like, the windshield, it's not broken. It's just like a few dots on there.
I don't know if like Elon Musk is sponsoring the movie, but okay. So they own a Tesla. He works for a company that made him transfer to London, but then he lost his job. Blah blah blah. But she used to be an NPR, which. NPR, she worked for, I don't know, like journalism or something, but yeah, that's like just so on the nose. A lot of this stuff just lost its subtlety for me. I think the original has a lot of subtleness to it. Like, you're screaming at these characters in the original to get out of there, get out of there.
Yeah.
They don't, but, there's like one segment I liked about the change in the movie is when, so they go back to the house to grab the rabbit in both versions, and in the Danish version, you're like, they kind of make them guilt trip them into staying, but it's not very convincing.
Yeah.
But I think in this one it's very convincing because they talk about how they lost a daughter and just like pulls on their emotions better than that one. I'm like, okay, I kind of see like guilting them into staying. I get that. So another thing is Scoot McNairy's character. Like, I don't know what. Okay, so I get like in the original, like the wife doesn't have a whole lot to do. Like, she doesn't even know they're in danger when he finds out they're in danger. It's like they wanted to give the wife a little bit more agency, and I get that. But I think it's at the detriment of that father character because he does not do fucking shit in this movie. Like, he is just the most wimpiest fucking guy. And even though the guy in the original is supposed to be wimpy and too polite, he does kind of stand up sometimes, especially when he's like berating that guy's berating his son.
Yeah. Oh my god. What I find real funny, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but it's in one of the obviously the fighting scenes, and it's obviously very intense, and you're like, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna die? And then, okay, it's gonna be spoiler. You can cut it if you want to.
Yeah, I'll just put like a timestamp and they can skip it. But
when they kill, one of the helper that come to the house to help the evil couple, when they kill him, the wife said, "Keys." And
I didn't even realize that.
The dude was. I was like, "You are so out of it." In fact, total spoiler. There are 3 evil people in this movie.
Yeah.
The wife killed 2. The young boy killed 1.
Yeah, he broke his ankle saving them, so give him that.
Yeah, that was the last chance for him to do something, and I'm glad he did it.
Yeah.
But it was just funny, like, she said keys, and he's like, what?
He's
and
like just the most fucking useless. He does like a couple of things, like to show his bravery, but goddamn, they did that guy dirty in this movie version.
There were many moments that he was supposed to, like, not even to say man up, just like out of normal humanity, you're supposed to say something, and he just swallowed it.
Yeah, that's like, like I said, I understand they were trying to give her more agency, but goddamn, that was like just so frustrating. And you're frustrated with the guy in the original, but he does like put himself through that to kind of like fight against him. But and also with the ending, I mean, I think it kind of strips the whole movie of the shocking nature of the original when they make it like a wham bam action thriller. And they kind of like over explain everything. So one of the things he says in the original and in this one is that, why am I doing this? Because you let me. Well, I think it holds a lot more power in the original because they were just so passive with them. In this one, it just doesn't hit the same to me. They really manipulated him pretty good in this one compared to the original.
But it's just like, I feel like, would anybody let like total strangers stepping on their toes like that? Once the first act, he put a piece of meat in her mouth. She's vegetarian. So I want to say, if you're vegetarian watching this video,
I think it's supposed to be like passive liberals. Like, they don't want to step on any toes. They're like upper class. They got a nice apartment. They got a Tesla, and they live in this like ramshackle like house, and they just didn't want to be rude. But yeah, I think that the Danish politeness, cultural relevance, it gets a little lost on this, and it's like, oh, that's just how liberals are. They don't stand up for themselves. How about you just give your general thoughts and overall rating?
My general thoughts, I don't hate this movie. I was kind of just curious to see what is going to be different.
Let me ask you, since you were so resistant to watching it, was it better than you thought it was going to be?
No.
Okay.
It's kind of how I imagine it would be, though.
Okay.
I just think it's because I am biased. I like the original a lot. That I feel like with the similar story, it's not gonna do any better than the original. So that's why I was a little reluctant to watch this one. But I mean, watching this one, it's okay.
Yeah, that's about where I fall. But
it's just like a different version of how the story might go. But I think it didn't help deliver the message as deep or harsh as the original did.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need something really like traumatic to kind of make you think about this movie, and I feel like this one doesn't really give me that type of feeling.
So,
ratings, the overall rating's gonna be 3.5 out of 5, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I think you might have liked it a little bit more than I did. I'll probably give it like a 3 stars. Yeah, I think it's just like an unnecessary remake, honestly. So the Danish version came out 2 years ago. It was mostly in English. Like, you're making an American remake of something that was made 2 years ago.
How did that movie do on
Probably
market?
great.
Not great,
and
yes.
I think that's probably the reason they made this movie, is because there's an opportunity to make money, make it more digestible to the American mainstream audience, and make it an action thriller at the end. And it's like, because if you make, it's not really going to make much sense, but also I think people will fucking hate it if they gave it the original ending. Like, I'm not talking about fans of the original. I'm thinking like the mainstream audience.
Yeah, because I think the original movie, it's really not for everybody. It definitely does not fit the mainstream standard.
Well, yeah, they like brutalize a child and everything.
Yeah.
And I guess it was directed by the same director as Eden Lake. Eden Lake was like a fucked up movie. And he directed this remake. So it had potential, but I don't think they carried it out. I think it's well-made thriller, but if I'm comparing it to a movie I already watched, like, I think that other movie left a bigger impression on me.
Yeah.
than this one, and that's why I have to give this one like 3 stars, because I mean, 2.5 is just average. I say it's a slightly above average for me, and it would be a good rental some Friday night or something, but it's not. I think it's going to be forgettable. But if you watch the original, I think that movie kind of stays with you.
Yeah, because dang, I remember watching that original movie. It was pretty late at night, and everything, I want to say up till almost the end, it's kind of slow and depressing and make you feel like something bad's gonna happen. And then the ending, it was so fast. It happened so fast. You almost are trying to like comprehend everything, and then everything ended, and it gave me the feeling that like I can't breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was a spectacular experience. That's why we watch these type of movies, right? That is the type of feeling that we're chasing. Is the shock and how you feel for the characters, or the message it was trying to deliver. And
did this leave an impression on you?
No.
It's a fun little thriller. That's about it. I mean, and then the other one is just like soul crushing. So
you guys have been
just a breath of fresh air. Oh, well, that is very sweet of you to say.
Well, that's our review of the 2024 remake of Speak No Evil. If you watched it, let us know in the comments. If you saw the original, let us know what you thought of it in the comments. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. We'll see you later. Bye.